Okay, guys, so the first thing we pointed out in yesterday's analysis was actually the workings of this wolf formation here, guys. So we determined, or we actually stated, that we were expecting downside almost immediately here, down to these targets down here of roughly around that 232 area, maybe around that 229, 230 area. So we did get that downside, and we actually did say that we would get that bounce to only lead towards an upside using the four-wave theory from your wolf formation, which would take you to a target of this circle right about here at around that 239, just about the 240 target, which is kind of where we're sitting just about now. Now, I do have to remind you too that we actually spoke about the Alphalite giving us the sell signals right as we went to the downside, and we expressed that downside to the 231, 232 area, which is exactly where we ended up getting that buy signal here from the Alphalite algorithm, which is my proprietary trading algorithm, guys. This is a trade signals, right? And curiously enough, the sell signal for this came at just about the areas of 240 as well. So the targets, guys, were absolutely met to the T with our discretion and our algorithm, Alphalite. Please remember that you can pick that up for a lifetime, and it's actually in the description below, right? Just go ahead and send over the proof of purchase to arcabulls@gmail.com, and it's at a great price right now, guys, as we're starting to revamp the algorithms for algorithmic trading, as the Arcabulls are about to enter another contract, or actually finish up a contract here with a new broker exchange. So before we get that going, guys, I want you to go ahead and take advantage of these things, as they're not always going to be available, but I would like for you to have them at these special moments, guys. Also, it is my birthday today, so think of it as my birthday as a discount for you, right? So thank you so much, guys, for participating. I really do appreciate it. And it's yeah, guys, so far we're doing pretty good with this formation. I want you to remember too that I mean guys, this thing wasn't it isn't the easiest to determine the targets, right? We're using some nice little we're using technicals and stuff and statistics, guys, right? Take a look at the screen right down here. This was actually the video that we put up just last night, right? Giving you the target of the 239.31 at that circle, right, guys? And that's kind of the receipts, right? That's pretty much the receipt here, as we're now observing that target there, right up in here, right? So yeah, team, I think that there may be I gotta say that there could be room for some loading right around this 237 to maybe around 238. Let's go ahead and validate that, because it feels like it wants to bull flag out of here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I want to make sure that we can validate that. We're now based on yesterday's thread of analysis, we were talking about making this downside here, and that would be, essentially creating what would be an inverse head and shoulders. And now, yeah, we kind of have that going for sure. So if I am seeing this correctly, guys, I mean, I'm saying that this, sure, right, it looks like it really wants to make that upside. I can't ignore those long wicks to the upside. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a trickery here, right? So if we are able to make the downside to around that 237-ish target, 238's around there, well, that would then create another shoulder, right, guys? And that would introduce the secondary shoulder and higher low, just like this is right over here, right? So then we would catch another type of some, I mean, I guess it would be in some way symmetrical, right? Or uniform, in a sense, right? So if we do get that, it would be, downside into these 237 targets, right? Validate, continue like this, resist like this, and then break out finally. So that would introduce the second shoulder here, just like you do have that second shoulder here. So very curious. You would have that buy shoulder, single head, buy shoulder formation. It doesn't give it any more strength. It just gives it, it's just validity, right? It doesn't give it any more or less. Okay, so yeah, so let's go ahead and find out what the targets can be here for the more immediate short term. But before we get started, guys, please do me the favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. My name is Arca, coming at you at 1:12 p.m. Pacific time on October 19th. Spot price action is at 240.21, and this is leading right now some kind of a very bullish / bearish feeling, right? So let's validate it. Let's validate it. Let's see what we got going. Okay, so some of the targets that we had aside from the wolf, I can display them to you here. My goodness. These were the triangle targets, right? We're looking at a 244.87 roughly, and a 246.94 based on your inverse head and shoulders and all that. This is the head and shoulders here, right? We have a bunch of formations here that are all leading towards a potential corrective upside. And that's all good, right? So I'm not sure if this is actually going to happen now, or do we get the downside? So let's find out. Let's find out if we can have that downside overall. Okay, guys. Now I want you to remember too. Now that I'm here with you, right? I'm going to get rid of these targets here, and yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty okay right there. We also had this thesis, guys. So let's just go ahead and observe this. We also had the potentials of a buy formation being set up, right? So this also helped us determine the upside. So we have a descending channel, which is a bullish formation, right? We measured from the area of breakout, which we were right? That total width of the channel, right? And that gave you the upside target, of which we've already kind of displayed right over here, right, guys? So that would be roughly around that 254 or 257 target. Very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and just focus on volatility and momentum and see if we can't get ourselves some biases. Okay, guys, let's see. We're going to go down to, let's go down to some granular time frame here and see what's up, right? So let's get rid of all the targets and kind of figure this out. Okay, so we have, it is a red bar here, 1 minute and 31 seconds to go. And by the way, it looks like it looks like, it looks like Alphalite is still on a sell signal here, right? And should we have continuation to the downside? Well, let's go ahead and see what's up. All right, downside on the 2 minute time frame, closing in 1 minute. Not sure if it's going to close like that, right? It is testing some areas of breakout. Let's just say that it did close red. That would certainly continue to the 3 minute time frame just closed red. So yeah, 50% pullback to around these areas here of around 240.21 before continuation, right about this zone where my cursor is, if it didn't already touch it, right? I have the drawings kind of there we go. This would be a present resistance alongside of, maybe around here, right? You just get this resistance here, continue to the downside, and maybe even a bounce from this point here to then get the resistance of this area right about here, and then you continue. Okay, so if we have downside continuing to the 3 minute time frame, well, let's go ahead and see the 4 minute, right? So we got that 4 minute time frame still with a kink here. That is suggesting downside even still using time confluence. Here's our resistance, guys. Let's see if it works out. Sure, we got some liquidity tops up there, but sometimes these resistances tend to work pretty nicely. It's just within the immediate short term, there's a lot of grain here, right? A lot of slippage here, so that could actually give you some extra play. So here we go, guys. Let's see. Downside continues only up till your 5 minute time frame. Okay, so if that is the case, then the downside based on the 5 minute time frame would be it for us. So let's go ahead and just load up here what it is for our data cells advanced, guys. This is also located in the description below for your purchasing. It is I think it's like a 29 or 30 something dollar price point, right? Live data. And that's something I do use myself all the time. Okay, so that would mean that if we don't get the upside now, then we would be facing the current ATR low of about 239.16. Okay, so 239.16 from this point would just be right about this area. Let's see. I know that it's going to be a little bit lower here. Of course, it's suggesting some more. 239.16. My goodness, it's coming down to this point here. It's saying, right? So I gotta say that your range would be from the more relevant targets. It's not necessarily the actual, push range or the statistical range. It would be based on what's relevant to that range, right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and see if we have this happen a little bit later, right, guys? So I'm going to go ahead and put two targets here. Just going to go ahead and put that 239.60, as an alert, and also the potentials of a 239.70. So these would be the drop based on a 5-minute time frame, and here it comes. Okay, so we're gonna just put that alert there and see if it sounds off at any point here. So that would mean 5 minutes does get some type of a kink here. Great. Continuation to the downside lasts only about to the 10-minute time frame. So 10-minute time frame would give us an ATR low of what? That would be 239.56. Good stuff. So we're right around that same area. Upside continues from that bottom side right around here. Liquidity top could be that 239.70 as well. So let's go ahead and see what's up. 15-minute time frame still has an upside. That's slight. Yeah, it's not quite down. Not quite down on the 20-minute either, right? And this would be just about a 30-minute upside from this bottom side here. So should that be the case, we have about a 2-cent difference. That'll give us, let's see. If we open up, that is around the 239.60, that would give us about 241 ish, right? So that would, yeah, that means that we would probably make it back up towards these targets here. I would say that the upside from this bottom side here, guys, as soon as we touch that support, that could be, yeah, I would say just about right here. Downside continues from this point, right? We're going to get this downside here. We already got the resistance on top that we wanted. Bounce from this area, continue towards the upside here, 241s. That's going to be a downside continuation, 30. Is that it right there? No way. My goodness. It's just chopping around right now. Okay. So that would be a total downside of about 1 hour. So if we open up at 241.35, yeah, that's bringing you down just about 2 cents back down to your 239. So yeah, it's literally doing what this candle did. So up here, down here, this candle would also down here, up here, and now it would start the down. It would start the upside from this point again. So your 239 now, my goodness, that would be upside 1 hour, and my goodness, a 2 hour total upside. Guess what? So that puts you at 3 cents this time, guys. So 239, 40, 41, 42 would now put you at around this target here. So I would say anywhere between here is slash where we just were, right? So now the downside continues from the 3. Now it would be 4, 3 downside, 4 downside, 6, okay, 6 hours. 6 hours of upside continuation from here, I guess. That's pretty nice. We still have around 3 hours and 40 minutes to close. That's good. Let's see. So, yeah, guys, I think we are here very close to the bottom side. This would lead to an ATR top of about 247. So a little bit of conditioning in here, right? Maybe even a dip down to your 231.18 could even work. I would actually say it would be best if we, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think it would be best if we actually dropped closer to that 239.01 target. Okay, so I'm going to leave it in there. And if we did get that 239.01, then this means that your 6 hour time frame would likely take us towards that 247 top, which could be located right about these zones here. Maybe 246.73s, around that 245.33, maybe even a 248.39. Let's reveal our own targets from yesterday and see what's up. Okay, guys, so we're going to get this from these triangle targets. Well, then there we are, right? 246s, 244 is what we were talking about. And yeah, so 247, 244, 245s, all that, guys, I think it's still valid. Please watch out. I do think a 248.26 could be in line here. The hard target for the 244.87 could be roughly 245.41. And yeah, over maybe the next couple hours here, but this is presently expressing a current low. I think that was it. You know, let's look at the immediate short and see if we're moving onwards. Yeah, okay, so we are kind of moving onwards, guys. These we may have already expressed the downside on these targets, and then we're ready to go. This is these are tiny time frames. This is like 3 minutes time. Right, so inverse head and shoulders could be in play here, guys. Top side target from this would be measured from the very bottom side to the neckline. That's giving you a target of roughly 241 to about 241.32. So, yeah, guys, I think that this is still on a mend. If there is no bad news and there is absolute continuation with these formations, well, it may be possible that we could get some continuation. I'm still kind of worried over what the equities are going to say as soon as we get that open, but you know, whatever the case, we'll figure it out when we get there, right, guys? But for now, it is a bit bullish. I'm happy that I was able to provide some of those immediate short-term entries. So let's just remember, guys, that if I come up to you at first, right, and start saying, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you with our team?" It's not me. I'm never going to come up to you first. I will never friend request you first. I will never send you a message first or nothing. Okay, guys, it's not me, and I'm definitely not asking you to transfer your crypto or nothing. All right, team, but this is a pretty good place to leave off. Should you have any questions or concerns, please go ahead and shoot them over to argabulls@gmail.com. But with that said, I think it's, yeah. All right, guys, I will speak to you very, very, Jerry, Scary Larry later. And, yeah, adios, team. Peace and peace. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever, 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 ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night and or day, and I will catch you at the Bell Manana. Adios, team.